Chandrahas Bhattini. He is a periodontist by profession and a strategic implantologist. He has completed his BDS from Manipal University in 2000 and MDS from NTR University in 2009. He has successfully completed training with Noble Biocare India in the year 2008. He is an IF teacher. He completed his IF teaching in 2018 and has been awarded fellowship by International Congress of Oral Implantology. You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
For kind introduction. Good afternoon, one and all.
I'm going to present the intraoperative events based on the radiograph and
Case history. So for any given case, we all have a different plan of action, different treatment plan. But at the end, finally, we all aim only for one thing, to give
as best as the processes so that your patient is well satisfied.
So our aim is to give a best possible processes so that our patient is satisfied. So based on the clinical history and radiograph evaluation, one can make out overall prediction of the outcome. So for which we have to have complete case history, thorough medical and psychological examination for the implant therapy. So before we plan for any implant surgery, we need to evaluate and should have a clear vision of the end result before the procedure begins. So like recently we had a world championship in Kota where we were given the case history. So suddenly we thought it's like we are going back to our college days. We take a complete case history when we are in the college. After come out of the college, we are least bothered to take complete case history, but which is really very important so that you can minimize the intraoperative events while doing your case. So the patient history, it is like we all very well know in the college days, we take all this. But here I want to mainly point out on in the last second one, if you see financial limitations. This is very important because whenever we go for the consultation, in strategic implantology, we have a set that minimum number of 18 implants, upper 10, lower 8 for a complete jaw rehabilitation. This is the rule what we maintain in doing our case. But when you are consultant, when you go for the consultation and the doctor says, due to his financial status, can you reduce the number of implants? So straight away you can say no, because you can't take the risk of failure of your implant case. So this is one of the case where here this is a typical case for the complete rehabilitation. But here the doctor want to save these 3 teeth and give one extra crown on the right side. So he asked me to restore the upper jaw and the left side. But straight away I said, no, I'm not going to do this case, because if I'm loading on the left side, the patient is going to chew only on the left side and occlusal overload. So ultimately my implants are going to fail. Rather than that, I would prefer not to do the case. And this is how satisfied are you with your old restoration. By this chart, we'll come to know about patient psychology, how he is prepared, how well he can accept your implant case. And extraoral aspects, facial proportions, facial symmetry, all these are very much important. This is how we have to see the vertical dimension and facial proportions. Before you are planning to do a case, we need to keep all this in mind. And intraoral aspects. So here in this, I want to mainly point out on the malpositioned teeth, elongation, intrusion. Here is a case of the malposition. I got a case of this from one of my friend. He asked me to do in the lower right side implants, but it is not possible as in the upper arch already teeth are extruded, and it is an open bite OPG, but already in the intraorally the upper teeth are touching on the gums. So first we need to correct the upper arch, upper teeth, then you can only plan for the lower implants. And patient psychology is very important. This is one of the case which is very absolute risk regarding the implant as a foreign body. And patient, after doing your successful treatment, despite of doing this, they might come back to you and ask you to remove the case. And it was like a very tricky case. In the lower jaw, you can see the impacted teeth. We saved those teeth and bypassed that, and we have given this implant. But after 1 year, patient is not satisfied with those that case, because she was always having something is there in the mouth. She wants to get rid of it. So understanding the patient psychology is very important before you start the case. This is after 1 year. Now patient comes back and asks to remove it. She was having a problem in the upper arch, but after again we convinced her and given her second prosthesis. Now again the patient starts complaining in the lower. She's having the problem with the lower, and ultimately wants to get rid of the implants. So before jumping into any implant, finally we should understand the patient psychology. And contraindications and increased risk of implant failures are like acute infection diseases, chemotherapy. Even though these are not absolute contraindication, but relatively you have to wait until the recovery period. The other things are like pathological findings, pregnancy, and renal osteodystrophy, alcohol, heavy smokers, history of aggressive periodontitis, osteoporosis, uncontrolled diabetics. All these things are not absolute contraindicated, but you have to wait for a certain period of the time, then you can proceed with your. The only absolute contraindicated for basal implantology is systemic bisphosphonate medication. So this is the only contraindication what we suggest not to go for any implantation, as it is induced for osteonecrosis. And after the case history, we have to see for the radiological diagnosis. Pre-operative radiograph is very much required. As a strategic implantologist, we prefer OPGs mainly. And here in the skull, you can see the good amount of the bone. The green one, quality and quantity is very good. And the yellow is where in the lower, you can see quantity is good, but the quantity is insufficient and quality is mainly good. And red is a sinus floor area. It's a we avoid. So that's why we prefer pterygoids. And as I said, OPG is a good two-dimensional. It will give you a very good picture, and we can plan. Most of us, we rely on the OPGs. But there is a drawback of a high distortion and presence of some phantom images. Like you can see in this, in this pre-op OPG, this area, everything looks perfect here. But after placing the implant, I can see some radiolucence over here. Then we thought of something is there, because this is a pure artifact. But anyway, I went for the CBCT and nothing was there. So sometimes this kind of image distortions you might get in OPG. And of course, CBCT is, it will give you a clear clinical usage. But here we prefer CBCT after doing the case. So in order, like we are didn't bypass or injure any nerve, any vital organs, just to see that post-op CBCT we prefer rather than the pre-op CBCT. Mostly as a strategic implantologist, we rely on OPGs. This is of the CBCT of the image. If you see the CBCT, you might be scared, but seeing the OPG itself, you can know how good the bone, this white line, decent tooth, especially when you are doing the canine bypass. So this is how here, if you know the good anatomy and the amount of the bone, you can, very rarely you will injury to the adjacent teeth. And age is one more major factor. So here is a 90-year-old patient, but here is having the pre-existing root stumps. Then after seeing this, we thought there's a good amount of the bone is there. So then we planned with the cos micro, but his bone is so highly mineralized, highly cortical, we end up in breaking the 2 of the cos micro. Then again we went for the BCS as normal. But you can see in this slide here, osteotomy site, I am unable to go more deeper as it is highly mineralized. So we should be aware about the age by thinking that patient old age will have a soft bone, which is not so. And complications associated with the maxillary sinus. After doing this case here, after 1 year during the follow-up OPG, we found one of the implant is slipped into the sinus, which has been taken out by Carvalho with the help of my other colleague, Dr. Akif. Then later we have placed one more implant over here and we have restored. These are the chances. And probable intraoperative events like nerve injury. Possible causes may be mechanical injury by drilling and compression by the implant. So removal of the implant need to bypass the nerve. Then hemorrhage drilling during the drilling. Injury to the artery. Extraoral pressure or implant placement will stop bleeding. Fracture of the mandible. This is especially in atrophic mandible. Immediate implant retrieval and bone grafting and monocortical mini implants, you can restore the fracture. Penetration into the nasal floor and the sinus, especially in the type 4 bone. If you are very overzealous and entering into the nasal floor, then the solution is primary closure, antibiotic, decongestant. And significant bleeding, subclinical bleeding, and surgical handling can cause atraumatic surgical technique compression for more than 10 minutes. And devitalization of adjacent teeth, which the solution is endodontic treatment. The other events can be fracture of pterygoid plates, fracture of lingual, missing the osteotomy site in the second cortical, slipping the implant into the facial spaces. So like how to prevent those things. So this is how I am myself, I made this according to my comfort. This in the right pterygoid, means 8 to 9 o'clock position, and osteotomy site, and while placing the implant, the position where do you stand so that you will not miss the osteotomy site. This frequently happens in the lower anterior region. When you are doing osteotomy, we do from 8 to 9 o'clock position, but it is better to go behind the patient 2 to 3 o'clock position so that you will have very good access while placing the implant. You will not miss the osteotomy site. And these are the sites where our strategic sites, we prefer these green areas. And some of the cases where I did wrong and I corrected. So this is the case where immediate extraction, I placed the buccal bypass with the BCS EX, and we have taken CBCT, everything looks good. But what went wrong was, patient had a paresthesia for a couple of weeks. Then later when I showed my case to my mentors, they told instead of EX, I would have gone with the BCS, because the EX is a wider body, so that might cause a compression of the nerve. There was no injury, it was a compression. So as a BCS, the shaft is only 2 mm, that prevents this in this case. And here is one more case. This is the aggressive periodontitis case. And after placing the implants, now everything is fine, but patient come back with a lot of spaces. Here what I would have done, after extraction, we would have done the crestal osteotomy. So that would have prevented the shrinkage for me. So this again we have to keep in mind about this case. And here is one more case. Here on the right side you can see these upper teeth were supra-erupted. When I place the implants, then we are unable to cope up with here. The space was there. On the left side there was fine, perfect, but the right side no space, because this is also lack of planning before itself. And later we have to change the lower complete processes so that to give a good case. And one more case here where I planned for after immediate extraction, I went with the BCS 5.5, but here I missed the sinus floor. So within 15 days of time, this case got failed. Then I waited for 3 months. Then I went with the compressive screw. Even this, after 1 month, got failed. Why? Because when last year when I was in Montenegro, Dr. Hildes has told that the bone, true bone, haven't formed, because in 3 months you can't expect the true bone to form. For the compressive to use, minimum you have to wait for at least 6 months to 1 year. And later again I waited for 6 months, then this time now perfectly I engaged with 5.5 implant over here. Now this case is there almost, now it's a 1.5 year follow-up, it's perfect. So here I have engaged the nasal floor perfectly. So now this case is running good. Coming to the conclusion, serious complications are uncommon, but dental implant placement is not free of complications, as complications can occur at any stage. Therefore, careful analysis of the case, imaging and precise surgical technique, understanding the anatomy of surgical area are essential to prevent complications. Thank you.